Well, hi guys. Coach Jerry here at the Protocol Strength and Conditioning in Tucson, Arizona. And we are filming a segment here that's a little bit different from most of the stuff that's on our YouTube channel. Over the course of the years that we've been doing these, we've gotten a lot of questions, and a lot of those questions are very similar. So I've decided today to torture myself with answering some of these questions. So I hope you enjoy this segment. Let's go ahead and get started.
Why can't I lose belly fat?
You're consuming too many calories. Thank you for your question.
What is the biggest mistake beginners make?
I think the biggest mistake that beginners make is they program jump, and they don't give the program enough time to actually work. Like they'll get bored, or they won't get the results as fast as they want to. They don't get to see those results, so they just hop programs, and that's just not a good idea when you're a beginner.
What is the biggest mistake people make after 40?
Trying to do what worked when they were 20, and then get frustrated when the program doesn't work, or they get injured.
Squats or deadlifts?
Deadlifts, and I'll tell you why. Squatting without weight is a natural human movement. We were built to do this. It's a position that should symbolize some degree of rest. Some parts of the world, it's going to the bathroom because they don't have the fancy white things in the bathroom that we do here in the West. Squatting for mobility is natural human movement. Squatting with heavy weight, however, is a man-made game. Deadlifts are completely different. Until you and I are either dead or in 24-hour assisted living, we are never going to stop bending over and picking things up off the floor. If you've ever, God forbid, tweaked your back, you know exactly what I'm talking about. We are bending over and picking things up off the floor all day long and not even realizing it. It's like, oh, I dropped my pen, ow. Oh, my shoe's untied, ow. Oh, the Amazon Prime box is here, ow. Like, if you've ever tweaked your back, you realize just how frequently that movement pattern is being done. So if we can agree that it's an essential movement pattern and we do it with weight, we should also agree that we should learn how to do it correctly.
Will I get bulky if I lift?
Are people still asking this? Oh man, in 2026, we still get that question, huh? This is a joke, right? Like it's not a real question. I am 5'6". I weigh just under 150 pounds. As my oldest son so eloquently put it, I am not yet a fully grown adult human male. I have been lifting for almost 3 decades. I've been lifting competitively for about half that time. And virtually any marker of strength that you could read about or see in a book, I have done. Double body weight squats, 2.5 times body weight deadlifts, body weight overhead, 50 strict push-ups in a row, 10 pull-ups in a row. Whatever benchmark of strength and fitness that is out there, I've basically done. And this is what I've accomplished so far after 30 years. Now, are there a small handful of genetically gifted men that naturally will gain muscle better than others? Absolutely 100% that's true. But the trouble here is, when I used to get that question a lot, it was never from men. It was always from women. And the reality is with a very, 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 very rare genetically gifted few, we're talking like 1 in a million, women's bodies simply do not have the hormonal profile to put on muscle at any appreciable speed. As a matter of fact, if you were one of those women, you would actually know even if you've never set foot inside a gym. So no, lifting weights does not make you big and bulky. Krispy Kreme donuts make you big and bulky.
Kettlebells or barbells?
Kettlebells. Barbell training is very, very unforgiving. There's a lot of prerequisite mobility, thoracic extension. There's a lot of details in barbell training that just make it very challenging for someone to take on as a beginner. I would say kettlebells or free weights are a much better place to start just because the margin of error is greater.
Morning or evening workouts?
Doesn't matter, whatever fits your schedule.
Ice or heat?
Things that I used ice for when I was younger, I now use heat.
Protein before or after?
Doesn't matter, just get your number.
Machines or free weights?
Absolutely free weights. Most people think that, oh, when I'm starting out, I'm better off using machines. The opposite is true. One of the big things that you're going for when you're starting out as a beginner is what we call proprioception. It's your body's ability to manage itself through time and space. and learning the necessary coordination and balance and all the things that need to get done so you can strength train effectively and build strength more efficiently, absolutely is done with free weights.
Push-ups or bench press?
This one's not as cut and dry as it sounds. My colleague Charles Staley used to say that until somebody can do 10 strict push-ups in a row, they have no business bench pressing. And I certainly understand the spirit of what he was trying to say when he said that. I tend to agree with it for a variety of reasons, but there's also another thing that I would add to it, which is we have had a lot of female clients who really, really struggled to get their first real push-up on the floor, and they struggled for a very long period of time. And they would join our barbell program and they would learn how to bench press, and they would slowly build up to more and more weight on the bench press. And then after years of struggling with push-ups, they suddenly popped down on the floor and did their first push-up. So it's always very exciting to see their face light up, like when there's this skill that they've been trying to do forever and haven't been able to do, to suddenly just magically be able to do that. So I think there's a little bit of give and take on that one.
Will cardio kill your strength gains?
No, cardio will not kill your strength gains, bro. As a matter of fact, the opposite is true. Everybody, everybody needs a baseline level of aerobic conditioning for 1,000 health reasons. But for the purpose of what we're talking about here, a good cardio base helps you recover from sets of heavy exercise. And if you can recover better from sets of heavy exercise, ultimately you're going to be able to gain more strength. It blows my mind how Western gym bro culture, like these guys just absolutely hate cardio. When you study the strongest humans on the planet, which most of them are in Eastern Bloc countries, even these big, giant, clunky weightlifters and these big, giant, clunky power lifters, they are still doing a lot of zone 2 aerobic work. And every 4 years, the proof is in the pudding. We get our butts kicked in strength sport.
Should you train to failure?
This is an unpopular opinion, but I believe that the vast majority of gym goers should never train to failure. The only real purpose of it is if you're trying to increase muscle size at the sake of everything else. But generally speaking, most strength gains are made between 60 and 80%, and you can train like that for years and years and years, get stronger every year, and the risk of injury is exponentially lower.
What's the number one exercise people over 50 should stop doing?
I think the number one thing people over 50 should stop doing is watching YouTube videos and listening to podcasts that talk about what's one exercise that they should stop doing.
Why does my back hurt after standing for a long time?
So this is a question that you should be asking your physical therapist during an initial evaluation. There are 1,000 reasons that could be the case. What I will share for the purpose of this video is kind of the textbook generic advice, so your results absolutely may vary. But in our world, we call it anterior posterior pelvic tilt. Most of us do not have good hip posture the same way that most of us don't have good spine posture. So anterior tilt, if you imagine my belt is like a bucket of water filled to the brim, this way is spilling water out of the front of my bucket, and this way I'm spilling water out of the back of my bucket. And for most people, their bucket is actually not filled to the brim. They're either always spilling a little water out of the back or always spilling a little water out of the front. And for most people, it's water out of the front. Now, some of this water spilling might be unavoidable. So let's say a woman is pregnant. You're going to be an anterior tilt whether you like it or not. If you're a man who looks like he's pregnant, you may have some anterior tilt. But the reality is it's usually just a postural thing with strength if you don't fit those two descriptions. So when I'm sitting here with water spilling out of the front of my bucket, my glutes are asleep, my hip flexors are not really working the way they should, my abs don't work, they crunch the other way, and if I sit in this position for too long, say I'm standing for a long period of time, I'm going to start feeling that crunch in my back. The way to get rid of it is if I contract my glutes. So as soon as I crack a walnut back here, I quit spilling water out of the front of my bucket. All that crunch in my back goes away, and that's the problem that we see with most people whose backs hurt from standing for long periods of time. So you can get your glutes stronger from posterior chain strengthening exercises, wearing high-heeled shoes, or running shoes are also high heels. So flat shoes, like you see a lot of us wearing in here, that will also not help you not perpetually spill water out of the front. But yeah, there's a variety of ways to do it, but that's kind of the generic advice. That is not to be replaced with advice from a PT.
Should I work out if my knees hurt?
Yeah, as a matter of fact, your knees probably hurt because you're not working out enough. Our joints were not built to support the structures of our bodies exclusively. And most of the time, what we've noticed is folks who have pain in their joints, a lot of times have weakness in their muscles. So what's happening is their joints have to do double duty. They have to do the job that they're supposed to do, plus make up for the work that's not being done by the muscles. Now, does that mean you should force yourself to do exercises that hurt your knees? Absolutely not. There's plenty of leg exercises that you can do that are very friendly to the knees that will help strengthen your legs and will actually take pressure off of your knees.
Is stretching enough to improve mobility?
No. For the vast majority of people, stretching does nothing to improve mobility. Uh, Active mobility is what improves mobility.
Why do I wake up stiff every morning?
That's actually totally normal for a healthy male. Oh, you mean your joints? Oh, no, that's different. Yeah, so this is actually one of my pet peeves. We are fascinated with soft, squishy mattresses, and this absolutely needs to stop. If there's anything that I could shout from the rooftops is do not let the mattress salesperson sell you a soft, squishy mattress. If you get a sleep number bed, your sleep number should be 90. I know it's a little funky at first for people who are used to sleeping on really, really spongy mattresses or like a very low sleep number where you're like laying in a hammock. But that's actually what I think for the vast majority of people, that's what's stiffening them up. What's stiffening them up overnight. Um, a good stiff mattress, replacing it when it needs to be replaced, and also being very serious about getting the correct pillow for your style of sleeping. I can go on and on about this as far as mobility and stuff that we do in the gym, but I think for the vast majority of people, this is something that the mattress and the pillow is the thing that they need to be most worried about.
How often should you lift after age 50?
As a younger man, I would train 3 days a week, and I would train fairly hard, and I would have those recovery days in between. And by recovery days, I of course mean sitting on my butt doing nothing. The older that I get, the more I discover that I need to have some kind of movement practice virtually daily. So these days, I actually train 7 days a week. Now, it's not hard and heavy weightlifting. It's a lot more moderate, but it's a lot more frequent. And I've settled on that being a really good way to do things. So you train much less intensely, but you give yourself a movement practice every day, and it just keeps you from feeling like a slug.
Do you need to squat below parallel?
I like what Gray Cook had to say about this one. He said that not everybody has earned the right to squat below parallel, and I wholeheartedly agree. Not everybody has the prerequisite mobility to get into that position safely under load. Uh, Generically speaking, I always believe that you should train with as much range of motion as possible, as safely as possible. So, yeah, it sounds like I'm saying two opposite things, but they are both true. You have to work inside your capacity to expand your capacity, and you should squat deep if you can, and if you can't, you should figure out why.
Is lifting heavy bad for you?
No, being weak is bad for you.
What are 3 supplements that actually work?
Again, nutrition is not my thing. I recommend talking to somebody smarter than me in this department. This is not nutrition advice, and it's certainly not to treat anything medical here. But the 3 supplements that I think really work that most people should probably be using, especially if they're strength training, is protein, creatine, fish oil.
What is the most underrated exercise?
My mentor, Dan John, says that loaded carries are the most important exercise in the gym that nobody is doing. Uh, so you can do that a variety of ways. You have any type of loaded carries, whether it's a farmer's walk, racked walk, waiter's walk, any of those work well. Also rucking. I've heard rucking being called, it's strength training for people who don't want to lift weights and cardio for people who don't like to run. But those types of exercises, I think, are very underrated, and these are the things that even like non-gym rat people could do very, very easily to build a lot of strength and get a lot of bang for the buck.